Well, let's get into the papers right now. Let's see what headlines are across papers in Nigeria this morning on the second day of January 2019. And let's begin with the Daily Sun. We'll be doing this ourselves this morning. Daily Sun this morning is reporting 2019 APC PDP perfect zoning ahead of elections. Consider geopolitical zones for Senate President, Deputy, Rep Speaker, SGF, and others. You know, when it comes to zoning, it's a big issue as to how the parties, you know, win their support within the political, that's an intra-party
within the party itself, and then of course how that determines how far they go, at the polls. But then again, a lot of people will tell you it is until Nigeria moves away from this zoning system that we'll begin to actually get the kind of leadership that we need if Nigeria is to move forward. Well, because as far as some people are concerned, zoning has a way of truncating the quality of leadership that we get.
That is very true on the ideal. But the point there
zoning
is that
at the expense of quality,
we certainly will agree on that ground. But the point there is that for where we are right now, zoning is the only way by which everybody has a sense of belonging. We will get to that level where our political culture matures enough to see zoning as trivial, as not important. But for now, because our democracy is still growing, so that zoning has to be there so everyone has a sense of belonging.
Well, I wonder when that time will come, when everybody will really have a sense of belonging. You just need a leader, an untribalized leader, a detribalized leader, if you like, who would appoint people based on their merit, their ability to actually deliver.
Well, and, I don't think it's about the appointments.
Don't forget that Nigerians, the same Nigerians actually voted, a Muslim ticket, and of course
that was the exigency for that time.
Well,
if you throw that card now,
it won't work.
The same acceptance will not be the same because the point there is if you watch it, if you watch our political history, every time we're going out of a military rulership into civilian rule, there is always this acceptance. Give us anything. Let's just leave this military system. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do get your point.
In 1979, if they had thrown a Muslim or Christian ticket,
wouldn't have mattered.
If they had thrown a Muslim or Christian ticket,
wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered because they were fed up. Nigerians were fed up with the military rule. In 1993, it was the same thing. In 1999, if you threw it, it would also have been the same thing.
My argument remains: we need a visionary leader who can convince the Nigerian, the average Nigerian, that look, it doesn't matter where the person comes from. What we need. Do you want a person who will deliver?
Yeah, but before then, you know what? But before then, before the concept of appointing anybody who based on merit and all of that, they have to be able to deliver to the level where an average Nigerian doesn't feel the suspicion that if this person doesn't come from my place, it means shortchanging my slot.
We still need people who will do justice, economic justice, political justice, and all of that.
Performance in office first, and then the others will follow.
Okay.
Minimum wage mobilized for prolonged strike. Labor tells workers. All right, this is really, it's going to be a showdown. Labor had fixed January 8th. And we wait to see how things are going to play out.
And a lot of people are concerned, about, the aftermath of this strike, if it's allowed to go on. There's a need for governments, the implications. People need, government really needs to sit down and demonstrate commitment and, seriousness to what Labour is asking for. Because Labour already, as it is now, does not trust governments to be, trust government's sincerity as far as the 30,000 minimum wage is concerned.
All right, the Sun newspaper is revealing 9 Nigerians who will shape 2019. And they list them here to be President Buhari, Atiku Abubakar, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Dr. Bukola Saraki, Bola Tinubu, the INEC chairman, Yakubu, Governor Wike of River State, and Ojuzo Kalu. Okay, let's wait to see how things. Well, it's quite interesting to see that Wike is even going to be, as far as this is concerned, as far as the Daily Sun is concerned, is going to be more of a decider than the chairman of the party. But let's
okay. We'll see how
we'll see how these things play out anyway.
Pans out.
Now, Buhari will be judged by his actions, says Atiku. Or certainly, that's there's hope and future for Nigeria. Jonathan is saying that, and New Year Eve auto crash claims 12 lives in the battle. This is really a sad occurrence.
Real tragedy there.
All right, that's the Daily Sun.
And to the Punch, and I mean, I'm so delighted to see this beautiful
babies.
Yeah,
the first babies.
Angels, you know, just looking at these angels, you actually feel like having a baby.
Oh yeah,
just looking at them.
It's
Beautiful,
really cool.
innocent. You know, there's something about a new baby. It gives a sense of hope, you know, and a sense of future.
Some kind of refreshment,
yes,
some kind of joy.
We welcome them. Of course, one was born in Nyanya General Hospital. Baby Linus Ame. Yes, and of course, baby Adegbeson was born at the Lagos, the island maternity.
It would have been nice to get these babies from, you know, different parts, because maybe in Kano they also have the baby of the first baby of the year, Port Harcourt, and all of that. But this is nice.
Yes,
really nice,
indeed. The Adegbeson baby was born 12 a.m. on the dot.
Interesting.
All right, welcome.
Welcome to our world.
Okay, Adegboye codes 2019 prophecies. Olukoya sees strange happenings. All right, of course, at this time of the year, we hear from, you know, different men of God, what they say God is telling them about the new year, about what will happen both in our politics and the economy, and all of that.
Whether they come to pass
is another matter.
In the way they say it, it's another issue altogether. But
yeah. Okay, 42 oil block licenses will expire in 2019, and that's according to the DPR there. PDP is creating insecurity. Atiku killed power sector, and that's APC. You can even blame God for your ineffectiveness, and that's the PDP responding to the APC there. And Buhari has laid foundation for national growth. That's according to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, former Lagos State Governor, and of course leader of the APC. New Year's Eve tragedy, 12 die in Ibadan road crash. And NHIS, NMA clash over cancer exclusion from health scheme. Yeah, this is a very, very important one. More and more Nigerians are coming down with cancer. And as far as, you know, the two agencies are concerned, this cannot be factored in when it comes to the National Health Insurance Scheme. And, well, we'll see.
But because
there's so many Nigerians that cannot afford it. There are no cancer screening centers.
And when it comes to the issue of health coverage or universal coverage of health insurance, these are the critical areas that should be covered.
Yeah, indeed.
You know, because those are the areas people can't afford easily afford. You know,
it costs an arm and a leg
to treat or manage cancer.
Yeah. Minimum wage, FG, budgets 160 billion naira for civil servants' salary increase.
That is interesting.
All right. There, I mean, 2% of the population is employed by the government. So will 160 billion fix the salary increase issue? Will it solve that problem once and for all?
That's for federal government. The state governments have theirs and they have to battle with it. The local government have theirs and they have to also battle with it.
Yeah. Islamic State fighters dislodged from Syria, now in northeast. That's according to the military.
But I think it's almost the same. It's almost the same story of the fact that Boko Haram now uses drones and foreign mercenaries and all of that. I think it's basically the same.
Yeah, it's what we've been hearing really from government. Exactly. I'm a prophet sent to liberate Southeast, says Ngige.
Okay.
How about that?
No, it's all right. It's a prophet sent from Abuja or prophet sent from God, wherever he comes from. He's a prophet. It's okay. Let's see what message. Let's see what message he has.
The prophet has for the people of the
Southeast. It's okay. The Nation newspaper is the next one now, and APC alleges anti-Buhari plot as PDP knocks rally. Okay. Okay, so he says, there's a writer here, conmen hired to spread fake news about the president and Atiku campaign, government did nothing. Okay, well, it's still a back and forth against each other and so on.
Well,
Nigerians are still waiting for the
issues.
Issues,
right out of
health, taxes, minimum wage, infrastructure. These are the issues Nigerians are waiting to see. The concept of you didn't do this, I didn't do that, you said this, you're planning to do this.
And all the blame game.
Oh, no. I think Nigerians are fed up with all those. Now, 15.89 billion naira, excuse me, injection to stop ASU strike. All right, and then what the government has done is to earmark 15.89 billion naira released for payment of shortfall in salaries, and then 20 billion naira voted as revitalization funds for universities.
That's not new.
And universities' pension management company approved, and funds set aside for earned academic allowances. I wonder if this is going to make us go back to the classrooms.
How far-reaching, how sustainable is this particular intervention? 15.89 billion. 20 billion has already, I mean, they've already approved that since it's not today. Out of the 200 billion that ASU is asking for. You know, but what ASU is really demanding is, look, we need a situation where we can bring back the glory of our
Nigerian universities.
No Nigerian universities on the first 1,000 list right now. And chances are that even if you counted 2,000 universities in the world, no Nigerian university might be found
or
there.
Maybe somehow, conservatively, the Nigerian university is going to fall in the first 2,000s, maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, let's go ahead now. 2019, Aisha Oshibajo's wife lead women team. All right, what 2019 holds for Nigeria by Adeboye Oyedepo Lukoya. All right, trailer crushes expectant mom. 11 others in Ibadan. Really troubling. Really,
not a good way to start the new year.
Woman stabs boyfriend. Okay, and JAM warns candidates against fraudsters. All right, oil output hits 2.09 million barrels per day. Okay, this is going to excite those who are looking at the budget and those who are expecting, you know, things to change in that regard.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and you see the picture of the general officer commanding 3 Division Nigeria Army, General Nuhu Agbazo, addressing troops fighting Boko Haram in Borno State on New Year Day.
Sure, he's giving them some pep talk
that
will, you know, ginger their morale. Yes, indeed. Okay, to the Vanguard. NBA tackles Buhari over rule of law abuse. Vows to blow whistle on any plans to rig 2019 elections. Okay.
Just blow it. Anything you find, blow the whistle. Don't wait for anything. Don't threaten to blow it. Blow it.
And the PDP says, we're vindicated. We support whistleblowing, not rule of law abuse. Keyamo is responding there, of course, he's a spokesman for the Buhari campaign organization. All right, FG, 33 states, budget 15.737 trillion naira for 2019.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful.
Right.
Remember a few days ago when we're talking about the budget.
What this figure represents then, I mean, federal government has 8-point-something trillion, and all the states together, well, 33 states in this case, will be,
because some states have not
an equal figure.
Some states have not translated their appropriation bill to the National Assembly
yet.
No,
they have not. They've not transmitted it
exactly.
Yet.
This is beautiful. So at the end of the day, when you're looking at Nigeria, there's a budget of about 15 trillion naira.
That's about
across
$50
Nigeria.
billion.
The budget by the federal government is for Nigeria. It's for me and you. The budget by Lagos State,
it's still for me and you.
The budget by Koshofe local government is still for me and you. So you see, but how are these 3 tiers of government working together to ensure that they're not working at cross purposes?
Yeah, and then again, when you make these projections, how much of these funds are released, and when they are released, do they go to the appropriate quarters to actually fix those challenges, the infrastructure deficit? Nigeria right now has a 17 million housing, infrastructure housing deficit. Yeah.
Not to talk of roads.
Our health is less than $100 per capita, a year, compared to a place like the U.S., for example, it's $10,000 per capita. That's the United States spends $10,000 on each American every year.
That's the U.S.
to take care of their health.
That's the United States.
Okay. Okay. So maybe we should bring it down to South Africa, for example. Which is it's still, a lot better.
Rwanda has attained universal coverage for health.
Yeah, so indeed.
Talk about Rwanda.
Talk about, yeah.
Well, but I think the narrative, this is really good because this is a good narrative. We're beginning to see things from another perspective now, because usually there hasn't been a spotlight or a searchlight on all of the country, all the monies that are budgeted for, you know, for different things across Nigeria and all of that. So this is a good narrative, beginning to see budgets from different perspectives.
Well, budget is one thing, implementation is another. We're not reviewing committee reports. That's according to the federal government. It's delay tactics by government, says Labour. And presidency to spend 274.7 million naira on electricity and 65 million naira on animals. Honestly, I don't know what it means, but we'll have to, you know, go through to, ascertain exactly what the point is. Of course, the figures have been coming out too as to what the president will be, what will be spent on the president's feeding for the year.
No, the point there is,
and all that.
but the point there is to be very fair and objective. It doesn't mean it is just what the president is going to eat. The office goes along because there are refreshments
for guests.
You're going to have guests, international guests, VIP guests. You don't expect to just serve.
No, but I doubt if anybody's complaining. But they're just giving us the figures. This is what is going to be spent.
So, if you look at it critically, sometimes, well, it may not be out of place, but how judiciously they are being used is something to look into. Is that okay from the Vanguard newspaper?
Yes, it is, actually. Okay. I was just reading.
Daily Trust is our next paper now, and the last one for the day. 12 killed in Ibadan, New Year road crash. A really disturbing incident from Ibadan, or your state there. And the Aisha makes U-turn, constitutes 700-member Buhari re-election. Okay, what's the U-turn?
What do they mean she's made a U-turn? I mean, she's always been supportive of her husband. Exactly. It doesn't stop her from raising issues.
Concerns, exactly. I think on this issue, she never said she wasn't going to stand
support
by.
him.
Exactly. She only raised issues that are of concern. Borno, Yobe, Zamfara killings unacceptable. JNI saying that a minimum wage, Nigeria Labour Congress blames Buhari for not transmitting bill to National Assembly. And Boko Haram, we are faced with serious challenges in Borno. Shatima is saying that that's the governor of Borno State. The federal government funds early works for 2 trillion naira Mambila hydropower. This Mambila project has been on for so many years. I hope it's rounded off this time around. That's Daily Trust. Okay, that's it. And those are
headlines this morning.
Headlines across papers in Nigeria. Let's go on a break. We'll be looking at different... Work is supposed to resume today.
Work starts today.
Whether people are going back to work, it's something we'll be looking at. And when there is a public holiday, what are the implications? How much do we lose for public holiday? We'll look at all of those dynamics. Stay with us on TVC Breakfast.